So I just want to introduce Jackie and Andrew. They are the premier college prep people that you want your high school kids to go to get all of the information for college admissions and the ACT prep and and if they should take the ACT test. Everything's been changing with COVID, and we know that ACT is now optional at a lot of colleges and universities. So I'm going to hand it over to you, talk about what you have experienced and what you've heard.
So one of the things that I always like to tell parents and students is testers and parents beware, because test optional does not mean that a school is test blind. Therefore, schools will still accept your test results if they submit them to the college. And we highly recommend that you submit if you're within the 50 percentile of that college's ACT requirements.
And the other thing that we talk to families about is just because one college or maybe two colleges are test optional, that doesn't mean that all of the schools on the student's list is going to be test optional. So we don't want a student to start applying to college and then realize, uh-oh, a couple of my schools do require the test. So, again, test optional for some schools doesn't mean it's for all the schools. And that's just one of the things that we want to make clear with the families that we work with.
The other thing that's a little concerning is, and we're still trying to navigate through it, is many colleges use the ACT score as well as a student's GPA to determine merit scholarships. Without an ACT score, I'm not sure how those schools are going to administer their scholarships. So again, just because a school is test optional, don't dismiss the ACT exam, because many schools do require that to administer their merit money to the parents, and that is what it's about, is helping parents pay for college.
And just like everybody else, we're learning new terms every day. And I think, Karen, that we were doing the answers from admissions. And one of the things that the Dayton had mentioned to us is they are actually now considered test flexible. So now, we have a new term. We got test optional, test flexible, test blind. But test flexible now means that most of the school programs won't require the SAT or ACT test results, but some other programs will require it. So depending on what major your student plans on selecting as they enter college, and Dayton specifically mentioned nursing and engineering as two programs that they will require the standardized test results. So, there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of confusion, and we completely understand. And that's kind of what we're here for. We help students go through the process, of applying to college. And ultimately, we want to make it as affordable as possible for parents. So that's why, we're on top of it. We're, navigating it. Hopefully we're a little bit ahead of most people. And, again, there's a lot of different changes going on. And even with the ACT that's supposed to be administered on Saturday, there's a lot of places that are actually, sort of being closed this week. So there's just a lot of, uncertainty. And again, that's kind of what we do at Class 101.
Yeah, so for parents and students who have registered for this Saturday's ACT, we highly recommend that you check, especially Friday night before your student goes off to take it, because that test center may have closed in the last couple of days. We have students going all over Cleveland. Some are even going into Pennsylvania to take the ACT because some of the schools have canceled. So again, it's a constant changing, revolving situation here. So please, parents and students, check before you go.
That's great advice, you guys. And do you have any more advice to give to parents about the merit scholarships, when you might find out if you absolutely need the ACT, or is it just all up in the air?
Everything is kind of in flux, and you know, I don't know if you've been watching. A lot of the colleges were planning on starting the school year early. That's also kind of in flux. So everybody is kind of learning as they go. And there are some colleges that have committed to just, you know, using a student's application for the merit. So, you know, again, normally it's a scale where depending on what your ACT score is or your SAT score is compared to your GPA, you'll get a certain level of money. Some schools have transitioned to just, you know, looking at the students' GPA, but it also is going to depend on a lot more things like the students' activities. What kind of things have they done in college, or excuse me, in high school? You know, have they done community service? Have they joined clubs? What happens basically is once you take out that one data point, everything else kind of is going to get amplified. And that's, again, kind of what we do at Class 101. We call it the presentation of the application. So when the Common App asks for 10 different activities, we want to make sure the student puts in 10 activities because that's what the competition is going to be doing. So you want to put your best foot forward and you don't want to present an incomplete application. And again, that's what we help students kind of develop and try to make sure that it is, you know, complete. And, you know, if they do take out that one data point, let's say the SAT or ACT, the rest of the application is, you know, just sparkling like it should.
Right, and kids need to remember, if they take that out, that means those activities need to be good activities. They can't just be 1 hour I volunteered at a pancake breakfast. They need to make sure that their activities are stellar. They're gonna need to make sure their essays are pretty well written, you know, and it's not just a bunch of words thrown on a piece of paper. So again, everything's going to be amplified. The more things are taken out, the more things need to be better.
Mm-hmm.
And the other comment that I would make is, you know, again, if they are test optional, colleges will take as much information to analyze a student's application. So as much as you give them, they will look at. So we typically say if you're in the upper, you know, 50 percentile or above, there is no reason why you want to go test optional. You fit their demographics, you should go ahead and submit. We have, you know, all the information that we could tell you specifically what the 50th percentile is for just about every college in, you know, the United States. There's, I think, 3,500 accredited colleges. We can give you information on every single one of their colleges and where you need to be, you know, with your GPA and also, you know, standardized test scores if you decide to submit the results.
That sounds like great advice. And you guys have the next 3 Saturdays are ACT prep classes, correct?
Right.
We're actually, no, they're actually ACT practice tests.
We're giving an actual
Oh, yeah, thank you.
ACT practice test for any student that's interested in finding out, number one, what a test is like. And that means it could be a freshman, a sophomore. You know, for us, we've had some juniors in already just because their practicing stopped as of March. So they want to get back familiar with it. So it can be any age group, but we're giving a free community ACT practice test. It will then be evaluated and we'll be able to tell parents and students exactly where their targeted areas of improvement are so that going forward, they know what they need to focus on to be prepared for when and if they get to take the ACT.
Great. Well, if anybody has questions, you can direct message me, you can direct message Jackie and Andrew through Instagram, and we can get everybody situated and figure everything out for this year that's so crazy for college admissions.
And the other thing I was going to mention about the ACT practice test is we're almost full on Saturday because we are doing the social distancing, so we are limiting the class size. We do have some spots available next Saturday and then also on August 1st. So we do have some room available, but we just got, I believe, 4 orders this afternoon for, the spot. So again, the class size is limited, and therefore, we're doing it multiple weekends just to try to give everybody an opportunity to, to take that practice test.
That's great. All right. Well, did you guys have anything else that you wanted to share?
The other thing that parents need to know is ACT has added additional test dates.
That's right.
So starting at the end of July, parents can go in and start registering for the next round of ACT tests. So they're opening up different dates for students. But the other thing students need to know is that last year, ACT had announced that they were going to allow students to take a section test at a time once they took the entire test. That has been put on the back burner. So many kids were like very excited because they only needed help in math. So that's what they were going to focus on. That is no longer in play. With the tests being canceled so many times, they need to be able to utilize maximum space. So they have put that on the back burner for at least another year, if not longer. So again, if students were counting on that, please be aware that that is not going to happen again.
Okay. Well, I think the main objective here is that everyone should just give you a call because you guys know exactly what's going on, and it's a no-brainer. So.
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of times both parents are working. They just don't have time to try to stay on top of this. And this is our full-time job. It's a great job because we love doing what we do. But at the same time, there's just so many things happening that you do need some additional sources or resources to, help you navigate the process. And again, that's what we, do. We have, families call us and ask us questions, all the time. It just, everyone has different needs and what have you. And again, ultimately, we just want to help as best that we can. The college planning process shouldn't be complicated. And again, at first look, we have our own 4 kids, so we've been through this process. It's very daunting at first, but once you've been through it a few times, it's really not that big of a deal. It's just you have a plan in place and you follow the plan. And the other thing that we're going to mention is the earlier you start, the better. Don't wait until the start of your senior year to start worrying about applying to college. You should do that, if at all possible, your freshman or sophomore year, but at least in your junior year, early in your junior year, so that you can be ready, taking the ACT, taking the SAT, and really getting prepared, for the entire process.
Right. That's so important too, to make the whole family be prepared for it, not just the kid or the mom or the dad, but it really gets everybody into gear, and it really gets everybody, come senior year ready. They don't have to worry about anything, just take the test and
really what we want that student senior year to be their best year. If you wait until the start of your senior year, and again, I hate to tell you this, but with our oldest son, our only son, we actually started the process way too late. And there was a lot of driving. There was a lot of college visits. There was a lot of pressure. He was in a different state taking the ACT. I mean, it was just cram.
A lot of arguments going on.
It was not a good experience. So you start early and you plan, and if you just follow the plan, it's much easier to kind of get through the process.
Right, because senior year is supposed to be fun, right?
So,
I think parents, the last thing you want to be doing is nagging your student, your child. Did you get this done? Did you get that done? Because they're only going to kick back. Okay, so if we can help in any way and take pressure off of them, then they can enjoy their final year with their high school student, go to all of their events, be a family. Because, now they're going into adulthood, they're going off to college, then they're going to get a job and someday hopefully get married and everything else. So again, if they can enjoy that last year together, that's what we want.
Yeah, that's so nice too. Because I know even I have an 11-year-old and I have to nag, and it's never fun. So I can imagine having a 17 or an 18-year-old senior in high school would be, 10 times as worse nagging. So, yeah.
It's a lot easier coming from a third party. And again,
Right.
we don't think that we nag. We gently encourage them. And the main thing is deadlines. You want to make sure that you hit deadlines. And for example, in 2 weeks, the Common App opens. A lot of the seniors that we're working with, they're going to be ready to apply after it opens. It's that, fast, because we've already done the letters of recommendation. We've done a lot of the pre-work on the Common App. And, really all we're doing, the essays have been written. So we're just kind of waiting for the Common App to open, and then they're going to be ready to apply. And, again, like you said, we'd like to make their senior year their best year ever. So that's kind of the goal of this whole thing.
Great. Well, anything else you guys like to
Nope,
add?
I think, if anyone wants more information, they can contact us, either through you or directly. We're here to answer questions and help. So, just reach out to us.
And the other thing is, we are on Facebook. So if you look for our Facebook page, Class 101 Cleveland, Ohio Southeast, they'll find us. We try to post regularly, especially nowadays with all the information, all the different changes, SA or ACT, opening, ACT closing, and all that stuff. That's really stuff that we post on a regular basis on our Facebook page. So that's, something to kind of look for.
Right. And I also want to say you've been meeting virtually with a lot of college admissions people to get the lowdown on what each college is doing. And that information is really valuable that you have on your Facebook page.
Right. And I think we've interviewed, that was, through the heart of COVID, but, we did Dayton, Miami, Kentucky,
John Carroll,
and Kent State. Those are just some of the colleges that we interviewed, and we were just asking questions like parents would ask, what about this? What about that? And, again, that's kind of, how we learn, but we also want to make sure that, the families, not only the families that we work with, but the other families really understand a lot of the changes and what's happening within, the college application process.
Right. That's really important, especially now. And just want to congratulate you on the successful year that you guys had with getting your class over $4 million in merit scholarships. That's incredible.
Thank you, but it's not us. It's the kids.
The kids. They do all the work.
They really do. We are blessed to work with so many special kids in and around this area that, again, all we do is help. We navigate. We don't take the ACT for them. We don't get the 4.0 or the 3.75. So it's all about the kids. They are very special, and we enjoy doing what we do.
Great. Well, if you want to know any more information about college admissions, about the ACT practice test that Class 101 is having the next few weekends, or about anything college related for your high school students, you can contact Class 101. They're on Facebook and Instagram, or you can definitely contact me on Instagram or Facebook or my email, and we will get you answers that you need. Well, thank you so much, Andrew and Jackie. I really appreciate you being on here, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Yep,
I hope so.
thank
Take
you.
care.
Okay, bye.